All right, that's all we need here. Everything is an inside job. Change the way you're looking at a thing, and the thing you're looking at is going to change. Boy, didn't Ernest Holmes say that like 50 million years ago? Change your thinking, change your life was his main meme. He had memes before memes were popular. I even saw a real estate agent had a bumper sticker on her car, change your address and change your life.
Oh, that was good.
So welcome again. Last week my talk was called Imagine That. And I told the story of Albert Einstein, who said, if you want to be smart, read fairy tales. Because imagination is not an escape from the world. It is the quiet force that helps the world become more than it seems. And your imagination is not separate from your spirituality. It's part of your divine toolkit. And that's where my talk today, what if, aligns beautifully with that idea. What if? That invites us to practice wonder. And wonder opens us up to possibility. Wonder is a major part of inquiry-based learning, and it opens up the inner experience, which is a key for developing an inside-out approach to whatever we do. It's truly an inside job. So anytime we feel at a crossroads of making a decision about something, or how we're going to feel about something, you can say, what if I can make the right choice in this decision? What if I'm exactly where I need to be? What if prosperity showed up for this community in an unexpected way? What if? Can you feel how that just kind of opens your little brain? Because wonder is a state of consciousness, an open-ended curiosity. It's not about figuring everything out, but a willingness to step into the unknown, which involves trust, faith, and letting go of control. Einstein was famous for asking wonder questions and then living in them. So what if we expected the best no matter what our world looks like? So some of us in this community are working with this book, The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership. And we recently learned about wonder. And the authors say, do a thought experiment with us. What if there is no way the world should be and no way the world shouldn't be? What if the world just shows up the way the world shows up? What if the great opportunity of life isn't in trying to get the world to be a certain way, but rather in learning whatever the world gives us? Learning from whatever the world gives us. What if curiosity and learning are really the big game, not being right about how things should be? Can you see how this would radically change the way we see and live our lives? What if the big question of life were not how can we fix this, or how can we keep this from happening, or who's to blame in this thing, but instead, what can we learn from this, since life is all about learning and growing? I wonder what this is here to teach me about myself. So today we're going to look at how belief and expectancy work together to change our lives and defy limitations. Because when we lean into joy and possibility, choosing to expect better of ourselves, expect better of each other and the world with curiosity, something shifts. Imagine this. What if I truly believed that good is always unfolding, even in the face of my challenges. Wow. How might my life in the world change then? Change the way you're looking at a thing, and the thing you look at is going to change, he's saying. It's not easy to do. I know that. Believe me, I have to practice at this all the time. Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, "There's a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it." We all believe this. The question is, why do we not use it more effectively? If all things are possible to faith, why do we not have more faith? Let us learn how we can more effectively cooperate with the laws of mind in action. Our belief acknowledges this power for good, and our expectancy will activate it. So what are you expecting? Expectancy is faith in motion. It's as living as though the good is already unfolding, and trusting that we will see it and act upon it. What if we expected the best, no matter what the outward experience of the world is presenting to us? What if, without exception, good is always happening somewhere? Because it is. In the science of mind teaching, we know that joy and sorrow stand side by side. And yet, we can still invite everyone, no matter their burden, into a space of love and a vision of hope, goodness, and believe that all things are possible. It's said in the Bible, with God all things are possible. With the divine, with the Creator, all things are possible. With love, all things are possible. Do you believe that? Just notice that for yourself. Or do you have a yeah, but? The yeah, buts? The evidence out there doesn't necessarily show that, but it's what we're looking at and what we're looking with. And this is not about blind optimism or being a Pollyanna. What a great story that was. Do you remember Pollyanna? It is actually a courageous choice to expect better of ourselves and the world. It takes courage right now to stand for something greater and to hold that strong, rooted in. When we live in expectancy, we challenge our personal and collective limitations and intentionally inform our subconscious mind of our desire for good, remembering the truth that Spirit is not only present, but powerfully creative through us, as us. So ask yourself, what inner world am I creating right now, and how does it shape my life? I love what Mary Baker Eddy said, who was a Christian scientist. Divine love always has met and always will meet every human need. Period. And that divine love is within each of you. It's there. So are you remembering your silent partnership with that divine love within you? Call it forth. Ernest said, you already are a spiritual being. When the mind understands this and embodies its essence, that which you are in the invisible will become more apparent in the visible. So you will be able to think, say, and act in a higher consciousness when you come from that place. It's guaranteed. A few weeks ago, I talked about The Wizard of Us, Gene Houston's book. And remember that lion that was shaken because he was so scared and he wanted courage. So what if we each had the courage to expect good beyond what it looks like right now? Expect the good. Let's say I choose to make courageous choices.
I choose to make courageous choices.
Because, you know, I don't know, the world will always present us with some conditions. Some are beautiful, others are painful and difficult. And those painful and difficult ones tempt us into hopelessness, limited thinking, and resignation. The ain't it awful? And yeah, it may be awful. Yet, to expect something better is a revolutionary act. It's a courageous stand for living our best lives today and cultivating the future, one that invites that joy, invites that sorrow in close relationship, and still choose hope. Still choose to see a better way. Still choose to turn it over to God when there seems to be no way. It asks us to anchor in this idea that good is always happening somewhere, and to let this deep faith shape the way we show up, even in hard experiences. I mean, just being in awe of a sunset. Turn your attention to something that is awesome instead of awful. Just try it. There was an amazing sunset the other night. We were out doing some shopping, came out of the store, and it was like this bright pink. It was a couple nights ago. And it just stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, wow, look at that. And cars were going by, and Rex is like, let's get back in the car. I'm like, no. I just couldn't take my eyes off of it. So sometimes we need to just remember that there is this magnificence and beauty in the universe. Or the flowers and the trees and the little animals coming out now. Not coming out, but you know.
Oh, they are what they are.
Yeah. So there's this story, I'm sure lots of you have heard about the two little boys, twin boys. It was their birthday. And they were so excited. And the dad said, okay, come on outside. I got something for you. And so the two little twin boys went outside, and in the front yard was a pile of manure. And the two little boys stood there and looked at this big pile of manure. And one of them started crying. I don't want that. That's terrible. Ran in the house. And the other little boy was like, okay, there's got to be a pony in there now. I know there's a pony here. That's the story. But think about that. What are you going to choose? Expectancy. Because when headlines, social media feeds, and our public and private conversations seem divisive and polarized, the idea, even the idea of expecting good can seem impossible. And yet, this is precisely the time when such expectancy matters most. By unapologetically expecting better of ourselves and the world, we become a rebuttal to the narrative of what looks like decline. Our expectancy invites others into a space where love and justice and peace are more than ideals, they are living possibilities. And so in this way, we model that hope is not passive. It's a spiritual and moral commitment to the betterment of all. Say, I believe in goodness, so I expect the best.
I believe in goodness, so I expect the best.
And you know what? Expectancy speeds progress. So no matter how much good you're experiencing today, expect greater good tomorrow. Expect to meet new friends. Expect to meet new wonderful experiences. Try this magic of expectancy, and soon you'll discover a dramatic side to your life which gives full vent to constructive feeling and being in alignment with that divine sacred center. It enables you to enter into the spirit of things and people. Today I expect great things.
Today I expect great things.
So Ernest Holmes said, life is infinite energy coupled with limitless creative imagination. It is the invisible essence and substance of every visible form. Its nature is goodness, truth, wisdom, and beauty, as well as energy and imagination. Our highest satisfaction comes from a sense of conscious union with the invisible life. Conscious union. You have to be conscious of your union. All human endeavor is an attempt to get back to first principle, to find such an inward wholeness that all sense of fear, doubt, and uncertainty vanishes. Wow. What if my doubts and fears vanished? Then who would I be? How would I show up? So Michael Beckwith said, since your fulfillment lies in your question, what if you woke up and instead of asking how you're going to make it through the day, you asked, what if this is the greatest day of my life? What if everything works together for my good? What if divine success just takes over my living? What if divine health just takes over my body temple? What if divine beauty, symmetry, order, and intelligence work through me like never before? Can you feel how that just like opens you up? Because when we do that, we begin to live from wonder and awe, not awful. Not from your previous conceived ideas about the world and yourself. By asking what-if questions, you become available to more good. Are you in?
Yes.
Are you willing to ask some of those questions?
Yes.
Heck yeah. So this week, I invite you to journal and ask yourself, what am I truly expecting in my life? And notice if your expectations are quietly shaped by fear, past disappointments, or the headlines of the day. Then, imagine shifting those expectations towards the highest good you can envision for yourself, your community, and the world. And ask yourself some open-ended questions. What if everything shifted? And I invite you to meditate on the possibility that joy and sorrow can stand side by side, and yet good can still unfold. So each morning, declare out loud one specific good you expect to see that day, whether it's an act of kindness, a breakthrough in a challenge, or a moment of beauty. And then notice throughout the day, any cynicism, doubt, or resignation tends to creep in, because it will. And then you consciously replace those thoughts with the affirmative statement of faith. And you re-anchor, moment by moment, the idea that Spirit is at work here, even here. Spirit is here. God is here. And let your words, actions, and presence quietly defy the belief that the outer conditions have the final word, because they don't. What if? What if I just take a breath and return to love? What if I just forgive myself, or I forgive whoever? Because it changes your mindset. Imagine that. Everything is an inside job. So take a breath. And I want to close with this idea that I received from one of my ministerial friends, and I invite you to just close your eyes for a moment, if it's comfortable. And contemplate this. Even in the apparent absence of peace, there is peace. Even in the apparent absence of order, there is order. Even in the apparent absence of God, there is God. If that's true, if peace, order, or presence hasn't actually disappeared, then the question can become personal. Not what must they do, instead, what must I do to sense it again, to sense peace, to sense God? How do I soften enough to notice that hasn't left? How do I untangle myself from the noise long enough to reconnect to the one? And I trust, my friends, that each of you will find a way this week to do just that. To find peace, to find that order, to find that God within you. Because you each have courage. I know that to be true. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being who you are and being willing to make a stand for peace. And so it is.
So it is.